Have you ever seen or heard of a purple cow? No, of course you haven't. It's a metaphor. I've just been finishing last night. I finished reading Seth Godin's Purple Cow, the book about being remarkable, which in itself is a metaphor for marketing. It's a concept for marketing. So, very interesting. Purple cows. Yeah. Anyway, this is day 33, video 33 of the vlog, my vlog journey. If you've been following along so far, thank you very much and welcome back to another video. It is Sunday and I after sleeping in late yesterday morning, I didn't get up till about 9 o'clock. This morning I made a point of getting up early so that I can get a few tasks done. Did a bit of writing. Haven't done any reading yet, but I have been to the gym, so got my exercise in for the day. I've been doing a little bit of learning as well, I suppose. So on the walk back from the gym, I decided to try out Microsoft's new Bing Chat, or the Bing Chat GPT integration tool thing. I signed up for it probably a couple of weeks ago to receive notification as and when it becomes available. And what I didn't realize was that you have to install the Bing app on your phone to get access to it. Although I must say the Bing app has not been a terrible experience so far. You open the app and you are literally one click away from opening the AI chat and interaction feature. So no complaints thus far, and it's quite, it's a chat GPT integration at the end of the day, so it'll answer most things. So what I was learning about on the walk back from the gym was about using nootropics for accelerating learning, boosting memory function, etc. So a few weeks ago I watched a video where Dave Asprey mentions using nicotine as a nootropic in very small doses, sort of 1 to 2, maybe 3 milligrams at most. And after that, I went and did a bit of further reading. I read his full blog post on how he plans to use it, or how he does use it, or how he has suggested using nicotine. Obviously, he does give, I think, like 4 or 5 different ways for actually getting your nicotine in. And obviously the first and most obvious way, or at least the most obvious way that people perceive, is through smoking. So he does say with that though, obviously smoking is very counter health. It's not good for you, so try not to do that. Then there are other things like sprays and chewing gum and lozenges and mints and all sorts of stuff. Of all the things, he recommends using a spray because they seem to have the least additives, like sweeteners and stuff like that. And then the likes of chewing gums and lozenges tend to have sugars or sucrose and sweeteners and a few other like caking agents to keep it together, which can be bad for the body. But I did manage to find some nicotine lozenges, or like dissolving tablets, they dissolve in your mouth, which I didn't actually check if it contains any sweeteners or not, but it certainly didn't taste like it. If anything, it was a little peppery. It was really strange. It was like it was like having black pepper on my tongue for about 20 minutes. But I must say, the effect it had, and I did combine it with caffeine, so I had caffeine and nicotine, and the effect from it was almost immediately noticeable. So in the space of, how long was it? It was probably maybe an hour. Yeah, it was about an hour, not much more or less. And I finished reading Purple Cow. So I'd read up to about page 58 or thereabouts, and there are, I think, like 120 something, maybe 125 pages. So the best part of 60 or 70 pages, closer to 60. Closer to 7, yeah, about 60 odd pages of reading in the space of an hour, and at the same time also taking notes. So every like key piece of information I was able to, I've never noticed this before, but I was able to very easily extract or infer what a section meant and then put it into my own words and make a note of it. So that was good, because I was taking the information, making of it what it meant to me, and then taking a note, basically. So yeah, it was definitely a good experience. But obviously, knowing how nicotine works is not something that I can use or rely on every single day, or a lot, or too often, because naturally nicotine is supposedly very addictive. It's the addicting drug in tobacco. Well, it's the, yeah. So use with caution. That's, yeah, that goes. Yeah, that would be a fair way to state it. Yeah, so that felt good. And then even after I finished reading it, I then spent about 25-30 minutes writing down, or doing some writing, reflecting on a few things, and also making a note of my experience of using nicotine as a nootropic for the first time. So well documented. I say well documented, there's probably 2 sentences on it. But then I went on and spent probably another 45-50 minutes or so reading another book. So the effects were definitely most active or most noticeable for the first hour, just over an hour. And then after that I felt a bit more relaxed, but at the same time I was able to read and take in information very easily. So yeah, no complaints really, especially going from where a month ago I considered myself to be a slow reader. I hated reading, and now I almost feel the opposite. Like I said yesterday, I've been buying books a lot quicker than I can read them, which obviously that's easy, because you can buy a 1,000-page book. You ain't going to read it in a second, but you can buy it in a second. So yeah, that's just logic. But you know what I mean. Like, I'm seeing interesting books, picking them up, adding them to my collection, and being like, yep, I'll be reading that next, and then quickly forgetting about the other 10 or whatever books I've also said, yeah, I'll be reading that next. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting journey. And one I'm happy to share. Yeah, it's quite, the journey itself. I call the journey this. Let's, okay. Maybe I should start calling it a phase. I don't want it to be a phase though, because I don't want it to just be a phase in life, because the benefits I'm feeling from this, let's call like higher level of activation in the brain, is good. I would very much like to be like this all the time. So, yeah, I'm finding it quite euphoric, which is odd because I went to university for 4 years, and for the entirety of those 4 years, I absolutely hated having to read anything or study anything or take notes or take in any information. So much so that I think I maybe bought 3 or 4 of the recommended reading books or textbooks, like reference books. So I studied engineering, so there's a lot of reference material. I, pardon me, I don't think I so much as read more than maybe 2, 3, 4 pages in total of all those books, and that was purely just to act as like a reminder for how to do or how to calculate a certain thing, or stuff like that. So yeah, quite the changed man I've become, which is cool. I don't mind. I like it. I like it a lot. Anyway, it's Sunday, so I won't be keeping you any longer. I'm sure you've got things to do, roasts to eat, family to see, siblings to annoy, wives to please, or whatever to whatever. Have a great day, and I will catch up with you tomorrow in vlog video number 34, which will probably be coming out a bit later again because I've got a busy day ahead, but more on that later. Until then, have a great day.